Buenas noches a todas las personas que aún nos acompañan en esta transmisión de ExpoVid 2021. Vamos con el siguiente segmento de contenido y ya casi estamos llegando al final de esta transmisión. Se acercan los esperadísimos Beat Awards que quiero aprovechar para agradecer a todos los estudios alrededor del planeta, porque realmente ha sido alrededor del planeta, que luego del anuncio de los diferentes nominados en cada una de las categorías, han reposteado con orgullo que si han sido nominados o si amigos han sido nominados, y de eso se trata. De eso se tratan los juegos que unen, de eso se trata Expovit. Ese es nuestro objetivo, y que todos esos juegos lleguen a más y más manos de aquellas personas para quienes lo hacemos, para quienes creamos los juegos, que son los jugadores y las jugadoras. Bien, agradecer como siempre a Exola, a Whisper Games, por haber hecho este evento posible, a la Universidad Creativa por estarnos dando este maravilloso espacio para hacer las transferencias en vivo de este año. Quiero, antes de que pasemos a los Beat Awards, mostrarles lo que tenemos por allá. Entonces, si pasamos a esa cámara, esto es un ejemplo de los trofeitos que van a poder esperar. Sí, gracias por quitar el overlay de ahí, que van a poder esperar aquellas personas que se lleven esos premios. Estos que tenemos acá, pues ahora cuando sea la hora de los Beat Awards, vamos a hablar, tienen historia. Estos ya tienen nombre y apellido, son del año pasado, y vamos a tener de invitado al gran ganador del año pasado, la gente de Purple Tree. Pero bueno, eso es noticia para un poquito más tarde. Como siempre, recuerden que cada una de las transmisiones las tenemos partidas en diferentes enlaces. Acá abajo en nuestras redes sociales, Facebook, @expovit, Twitter, @expovitcr, pueden encontrar esta transmisión y las demás. Gracias a nuestros media partners, Pinto con Videojuegos. Acá abajo también tienen sus redes. Recuerden compartir esta y todas las publicaciones utilizando los hashtags ExpoVid 2021 y Beat Awards. Eso nos ayuda a llegar a más personas y seguir uniendo más personas a través de los juegos. En la última conferencia del día nos acompaña Arik Surabian. Él es el desarrollador del videojuego Dude, Where's My Beer, un videojuego que también comparte ese peso de desarrollo con un costarricense, Edo Brenz, que es nombre artístico, ¿verdad? Eduardo Brenes, un muy talentosísimo ilustrador y animador de Costa Rica. Y esta conferencia es también cortesía de Whisper Games, dado que Dude, Where's My Beer está siendo publicado en China gracias a la ayuda del publisher Whisper Games, patrocinador de este evento. Les anticipo, esta conferencia va a estar en inglés, es un conversatorio, vamos a hablar de la experiencia de cómo crear mi primer videojuego. Así que a partir del momento en que traemos aquí a Seth, a Arik, vamos a empezar a hablar en inglés. Entonces ahí queda el disclaimer, la anotación. Muy bien, pasemos a Arik, por favor.
Buenas
Eric,
noches.
hello, how you doing? Pleasure having you on ExpoVid 2021. I'm really grateful that you accepted our invitation to join us today and to share your experience on creating your first video game and taking that to completion and then publishing it and all the different challenges that come along with that. So, can you tell us, first of all, a bit about yourself? I made a small introduction in Spanish. The folks that are connected already know that this conference is going to be in English. So, if you can go ahead and talk us about your professional and personal background.
Hello. Firstly, thanks a lot for invitation. I wasn't. I don't know anybody in Costa Rica in the game development business or the industry. So this was kind of a surprise for me to be invited to this thing. I am Arik. I'm from Norway. I live in Oslo, Norway, but right now I'm in Costa Rica. I actually been here pretty much the last years. I at the final I met Edo Brenes here and we decided to make the game. But before that I was here and I actually took Spanish lessons at Veritas, and yeah, I kind of spend a lot of time in Costa Rica and I like it here. I'm Well, my profession is I'm a professional animator. I was studying like classical animation, like 24 drawings per second. I was studying puppets, motion graphic, and I ended up with After Effects animations with for like e-learning videos, like and stuff like that. So basically, what I do is I'm a freelance animator in with After Effects.
That's great. Well, and we're very, very happy and grateful that you're enjoying Costa Rica. We do enjoy it too. After all, it's home, and and it's actually for me very interesting that these life coincidences, like you meeting Edo Brands here and clicking together and being able to make and publish a game like Dude, Where's My Beer? Uh, to enlighten the folks that are connected to the transmission, I'm gonna please ask the people in studio that we share the trailer of Dude, Where's My Beer? Entonces, si podemos ver, por favor, el trailer. So you saw it, guys, on screen. Dudewhereismybeer.com, dudewhereismybeer.com en español, for everyone to check the game out and also wishlist or get the game on Steam. It's available on Steam. Está disponible en Steam para aquellos quienes lo quieran adquirir de una vez y apoyar este gran desarrollo. So, what got you into game development? What was the inspiration and what's Dude, Where's My Beer about?
Uh, it was actually when I lived first time for a longer period in Costa Rica. I worked part time and I felt like I had too much time left. So I needed some kind of hobby, and then I decided to make video game, and since as a kid I enjoyed games like Monkey Island and Day of the Tentacle and other LucasArts games in the 90s, and Sierra Adventure games like Police Quest. I don't know if you're old
Yeah,
enough to remember those.
uh, of course, I'm old enough to know those games. I think we're both contemporary.
Yeah, and then I started to make it, and it was super fun, but it was like something was missing, and then I decided to find another illustrator because my skills are not so good. So I asked a couple of friends here in Costa Rica if they could help me with that, and one of my good friends, he introduced me to Edo Brenes, and then we started. Then he started to work with me, and suddenly the project became a two-man project. It got more ambitious, more professional, and it was like, for me in the beginning, it was just a small hobby. So
Well,
it was kind
actually,
of
a
fun,
lot of game developers start like that. It's like, this is a hobby, this is something I want to do, and it's like a falling snowball, right? That it becomes
right?
bigger and bigger, and
Yes,
that's a good thing.
exactly.
Mhm. That,
And yes, that's what, and that was, and I also wanted to make it about beer because um, I think it's so funny with people who, I have a lot of friends who don't understand what craft beer is, because
mhm,
the whole game's, it's like a satirical comedy game about an older guy who just got home from somewhere abroad. He got home to Oslo,
mhm,
and he couldn't find any beer. I mean, he was asking for a normal beer like a pilsner,
mhm,
but in all the places he went to, they say we don't sell it anymore. We only have like double dry hopped IPA and stuff like that. And so this is, it's, of course, it's very stupid, and but the game is his quest of finding old school pilsner. That's what it's about.
it still happens, especially nowadays, and especially depending on here in Costa Rica, for example, depending on where you are, there are these certain places in which you can find any X amount of craft beer, um, from all different variations. But finding an old school, like a regular common pilsner, it's like it can become a challenge actually worthy of its own point and click adventure. And it's amazing that you make this old school point and click adventure game based on that premise, because I think it's very relatable. And that, plus the amazing art style that the game has, the awesome animations, the soundtrack, it feels like very robust, and it feels quite like a classic adventure, like the ones that we grew up with. So I really recognize that, and I wanted
Thank
to
you.
congratulate you for Enedo for creating this amazing product. So continuing with a couple more questions, what were the main challenges that you faced while developing this game?
Uh, I think the biggest trouble we had was that after, when we were almost finished, we realized that some of the puzzles weren't good enough, or maybe they were too difficult, or some kind of not logical. So we changed a couple of them, and it also led to a lot of extra work because we had to redo a lot of stuff, a lot of graphics, a lot of programming. But I think that was nothing compared to how many troubles most of the developers experience, because in our case, uh, I mean, how can I, in our case, we have, our game is kind of story based, and it's easier to redo stuff there than if you have to reprogram the whole game. So that was
Time wise, these challenges that you have to redo art and rethink some puzzles, how much time did it consume? Uh, Speaking about, you had this date for the release in mind, and so how much further does these troubles made you move back that date?
I think maybe it was 1 month or something like that. It's actually difficult to say because we were working on other stuff at the same time.
Of course.
Another thing I would mention is what was difficult is to make the translations for the game, because we, as I told you, we never knew that the game would be so, I mean, more popular than we thought. So when we translated it to other languages, I realized that I could do it so much easier to in the beginning to be to the game to be able to be translated, because a lot of the words were actually graphic elements, for example,
Mm.
and we had to make all the buttons in different languages and make a script that changes them instead of just having a text that automatically translates. Stuff like that is important to think of.
Well, we know that you're working with Whisper Games on China. Now that we're speaking about translation, how is the experience of working with Whisper on this process? Because they're the ones that have been behind you guys with localization. So, what can you tell us about your personal experience with them?
I was actually very surprised that they took contact with me and wanted to publish the game in Asia. And it was, I never did it before. We had, as a new beginner, I didn't know that there were contracts, that there were agreements,
Oh,
um,
yeah.
stuff like that. And then it was a very interesting experience. And then like translating the game was also very funny, I guess, for them and for the translator, because I don't think it's so easy to for translators to understand all the parts of this craft beer humor in my game.
Yes, this is one of the things that happens to all of us developers is that we want to make a game, we want to make it awesome and cool, and why do we have to go deep into legal stuff or into reading contracts or signing this or signing that and take care of our accountability? That's something that we're as developers, well, a lot of us were not prepared, but it's important to know that it's there. And I think that that could be like a great advice for a new developer, that to know that by becoming a game developer, especially if you have a small team, that you'll have to go through a lot of these other processes that are that you have to work with them on the side, not only making the game great, but also making sure that you won't get sued on the process.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Okay, um, what happened after the release of the game? What were the challenges there?
Well, part of it was actually that we released the game on Steam. It was, I mean, releasing itself was just pushing the publish button, but the weeks after was so much work, because after that publishing you get so many emails from um, all it, some of them are serious, some of them are just spammy, some of them are just streamers,
Requesting
some of
keys.
them some of them are just gamers who say that we I don't have money, can you give me the keys. And being without any experience, I had to read every email and think what should I reply. And it was a lot of stress actually, uh, because I didn't expect any of these things. And also, but the good thing was that we got contacted by Whisper Games, and they liked the game. But also, right before the release, I did this research on how to actually market your game. I was watching a lot of YouTube videos and reading a lot of articles, contacting press, sending the keys, like the experienced people say in these YouTube videos. And I don't know how much it helped, but it was several weeks with a full-time job for me.
I bet so. And are there any plans in the future for this game? Are you planning to make Dude Words My Beer 2 or a DLC or something like that?
We are thinking of making a sequel because the story in the game is not over,
Awesome.
and so the story continues. And the only question is when we will start on it, because both me and Edo need time.
Mhm.
but I have started the process, and and you will one day you will see the second part of the game.
And you just answered me the next question, that if you were planning to work on any more upcoming games. But for besides Dude Where's My Beard 2 that you just mentioned that you have that on the horizon, are there any other projects that you're thinking that, well, I might just want to make this idea? Do you have
Mhm.
any other games in your mind that could be seen the light anytime soon?
The thing is, this summer I lost my job, so um, I o- I worked part time for a company, and now I only have freelance projects. So this summer I started to improve my programming skills by
Awesome.
making a totally new game. Um,
That's great.
it's I've been working on it for a few months, and by at the same time learning programming, and it's very fun, and it takes a lot of time, but it's that's what I actually do every day here in Costa Rica as well, and
It's amazing.
it's actually about beer as well.
And I'm sure that that game, now that you're learning more and more programming, is going to be great, because Dude Where's My Beer, it's already very good. It feels so good and so smooth. I know that it's made on Visionary Studio because I saw that on your Twitter page. And you guys show a lot of mastership on the use of this tool. Let's see a bit of the gameplay of the game. So I'm going to ask the guys at the studio to put the gameplay now. Si podemos poner el gameplay, genial. Here we go.
Can we look inside the toilet? Because it looks like there's something in there. Hey, there's a wallet inside the toilet. Can we pick it up? I refuse to do it. I might be a little tipsy, but I'm still quite sane. I wonder if we have to be drunk then to do that. Or maybe we can use the glove. It could work, but it doesn't fit, just like OJ's glove. Oh, God. All right, well, maybe we can buy another drink so that we're more drunk and can just reach into the toilet. So let's try that. A pint. Sure. Here you go. Thank you. Oh. Okay, that's how we do it. Whoa. That was. Ugh, it tastes like old underwear. Right, okay, so anyway. So perhaps we can just pick it up. Sure, let's pick up the wallet from the dirty toilet. I knew it.
That's great. So, who's the streamer who was playing the game here?
This is one of our first followers on Twitter. He is Tyrion Shepherd is a fan of old school point and click games, and he has a small blog where he reviews the games in this genre and others as well.
Hmm.
And he was also one of the first to to make a to make a YouTube video, or while he plays all the whole game. It's like a lot of episodes, like 15 minutes each, and it's very funny. And he comments in a very funny way. And also, it's a thing I didn't know existed because I'm not a huge gamer myself, and I didn't know it was so big that people playing games and have a lot of viewers and stuff nowadays.
That's great. Well, now to close the segment, this conversatory, what would be the key advice that you would give to anyone that's starting on video game development? What would you advise to any newcomer to the game development scene?
Um, I think if you're gonna start on your first game, the important thing, it maybe not always, but I think it's smart to think that that game shouldn't be very ambitious and to have huge plans, and just start with something smaller and simpler, just to be introduced the whole process of game development, because then you spend more time on everything you thought didn't exist, and like the sound effects, like music, releasing, marketing, stuff like that. And when you first have done it, maybe then you can start making something bigger. Because I see that a lot of developers, they decide after a few years of developing, they decide to make something else because that project was kind of too heavy, too big.
Yeah, it collapses
And
under its own weight.
yes, and yeah, so there are so many unfinished projects because I think um, they were too ambitious, and it's kind of, you always get new ideas, you want to start something new or fresh, but I think it's better to release the first one, kind of a smaller one, and then you got it and you can go further.
Amazing. Great advice and great presentation. I'm really grateful, and I know that everyone that's connected on the stream is very grateful as well with you, Arik, and we hope the best for the game, for the future game, Good Words May Be too, and the other game that you are thinking about making. The best of the wishes from my heart for you and for Edo. I'm hoping that, I'm sure actually that we'll be seeing much more of you guys and that you'll be very, very successful. You're not going to be missing that job that you lost, because I'm sure that you'll go full-time developer in no time, and you'll make it uh, as far
Thanks a lot.
as you want to go here.
Thanks a lot for nice words and having me here. It was a pleasure, and I hope I'll see you again.
We'll be seeing each other much more than you think, because, well, you're more than welcome to join us. And I'm going to make this like small commercial here to join us on the networks of ASODEF. ASODEF is the local game development association of Costa Rica. We have for social networks, we have a Discord server, a very active community of developers there, and hopefully you can get to join us there. This transmission is actually going live as well on the Facebook page of ASODEF. So everyone, if you o la gente que nos está viendo aquí en la transmisión, recuerden que también pueden seguir a ASODEF en su página de Facebook. Y ahí estamos, aquellas personas que estamos involucradas en desarrollo de videojuegos aquí en Costa Rica. Again, thank you, Eric. And we're going to be closing this segment because now we're like a couple of minutes away. Estamos a unos pocos minutos of the beginning of the Video Awards, and you're more than welcome to join us to see the transmission and to see who's going to take the awards home. Vamos a ver quién se lleva esos trofeos a casa. Vamos a ver quién de los muchísimos juegos que participaron, que ahora vamos a refrescar quiénes son los nominados en cada una de las categorías, quiénes van a llevarse esas preseas. De nuevo, muchas gracias a nuestros patrocinadores, Exola, Whisper Games, a la Universidad Creativa por este espacio, a nuestros media partners, Pinto con Videojuegos. Acá abajo tienen sus redes sociales, y a ustedes, quédense, ya casi inicia la siguiente transmisión, no se la vayan a perder.